Welcome back. If you just joined us, you're watching the news at 10 live on Channels Television. A reminder of our top stories. Tribunal declares PDP candidate Senator Ademola Adeleke winner of the Osun State governorship election conducted by INEC in September 2018. Governor Boyega Oyetola announces plan to appeal tribunal judgment nullifying his election as governor of Osun State. Asked residents of the state to remain calm. INEC to conduct supplementary governorship election in 4 states and state constituency polls in 17 states of the Federation tomorrow. And European Council President Donald Tusk says fate of Brexit in the hands of the British after EU leaders agreed to delay the departure date by at least 2 weeks. ChannelsTV.com has some more information for you, and go to youtube.com/channelsweb to see our videos. Watch us on your mobile device via your browser or download the Channels TV app for Android and iOS devices from their respective stores. And besides giving you access to news updates on the go, the Channels TV and Channels 24 app has an eyewitness feature, so use it to share those pictures, videos, or news of happenings around you. Just install the app, then tap and swipe to reveal the menu and follow the instructions. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, is back in the saddle again as it conducts supplementary elections in 5 states where governorship and House of Assembly polls were declared inconclusive. The states where the elections will hold are Sokoto, Benue, Bauchi, Kano, and Plateau. In Bauchi State, collation of results will continue in 15 local government areas, while Tafa Balewa local government area is exempted following a restraining court order. 121,299 registered voters will be voting in 204 polling units across 22 local government areas of Benue State, while in Kano, elections will hold in 29 local government areas with 128,831 eligible voters participating. In Plateau State, elections will take place in 40 polling units spread across 9 local government areas with 48,882 eligible voters participating, while 75,403 eligible voters will be participating in elections in 135 polling units spread across 22 local government areas in Sokoto State. INEC will also be conducting constituency elections in 18 states. They are Adamawa, Bauchi, Bayelsa, Benue, Ebonyi, Edo, Ekiti, Imo, Kaduna, Kano, Kogi, Lagos, Nasarawa, Osun, Plateau, Sokoto, Taraba, and the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. In the meantime, INEC has commenced distribution of both sensitive and non-sensitive materials to the 29 local government areas where the governorship supplementary elections will be taking place tomorrow. The INEC Resident Electoral Commissioner, Professor Rizkuwa Shehu, confirmed to Channels Television that adequate security measures have been put in place to ensure peaceful polls. Our correspondent in Kano, Idris Jibrin, has this report.
Estimated 15 million people and still counting. That is the current population of the Nigeria's second largest city of Kano, based on the 2006 population census. Of this number, over 5 million registered as voters, while about 4 million collected their PVC. Although not all those who collected their PVC voted in the governorship election of March 9th, which was later declared inconclusive by INEC.
29 local governments are going to be affected for this supplementary election where votes cancelled were as a result of violence or overvoting. And we have 76 registration areas with 208 polling units. The total number of registered voters in these polling units is 128,831. We have received the materials for these supplementary elections yesterday, and we have prepared for the distribution.
while the Independent National Electoral Commission begins the distribution of both sensitive and non-sensitive materials to the affected local government areas. The resident electoral commissioner says there is no cause for alarm.
The Commissioner of Police, together with the other leaders of the security agencies, renewed their commitment to ensuring that this election will be conducted in a peaceful atmosphere.
A team of senior police officers were deployed to Kano, with the leader of the team insisting that a level playing field will be provided for all.
There will be restriction, and that restriction will be enforced. The reason there is that if there is no restriction, Kano State is a very popular state. And when people flood to areas of activities, it will be difficult for us to differentiate who actually. We want to make sure that the people that are found during the period of restriction are those that are going to cast their vote and go back.
On Saturday, March 23, 2019, all eyes will be on Kano as electorate go to the poll to conclude an election which will determine who becomes the governor of the state. From Kano, Idris Jibrin reporting for Channels Television News.
Staying in Kano State, Nasarawa local government area is expected to play a major role on who emerges winner of the governorship election tomorrow. Earlier in the day, our correspondent, Nanchin Vincent, brought us the situation report in that local government area.
State is amongst the 18 states where governorship rerun elections will be taking place tomorrow. And of course, Kano State governorship elections was declared inconclusive due to overvoting and violence in some local government areas. And here we are right in Nasarawa local government area. Nasarawa local government area is one of the local governments with the largest number of registered voters. And of course, Gama is the place to be. I'm right here in Gama, and Gama has 62 polling units where this elections will be taking place tomorrow. We would speak to some of the residents here and find out their thoughts and their polls on going to the ballots tomorrow to cast their votes.
Actually, we are very happy that this our community is gaining more enlightenment, and they said they have sent DIG, AIG from various states. So we are expecting peace, and we are expecting peaceful election.
The two political parties are agitating. That's each and every one of them is trying to win this particular and the largest Gamma word. So that's why, but yet, I do believe that we are determined to conduct our election peacefully tomorrow.
I'm resident here in Gama ward, and like I said earlier, Gama has 62 polling units. It's a determinant for who becomes the next governor of Kano State. Gama ward, Nasarawa local government area, Kano State. Nanchin Vincent, Channels Television News.
And in Sokoto State, all appears set for the crucial supplementary election tomorrow. Kayla Megwa brings us an update from the capital city.
In Sokoto South. So that's where we're in Sokoto South local government area. And the security here is so much. There's so many policemen around. I see patrol cars rather all the time, always around us. Even the hotel where we're staying, there's a lot of security personnel. So there's a lot being deployed for this particular supplementary election. Maybe it's to ensure that those incidents of violence that marred the governorship election do not repeat themselves again, hopefully. Or maybe it's to make sure that the peace in Sokoto State is kept, because it's very important that Sokoto remains peaceful. This is the seat of the caliphate. The fact that there isn't a lot of violence in Sokoto State does not mean that they have one political view. It's a state with many people with very divergent views, but somehow they're able to keep the peace and not, devolve into where it becomes violent. But we're hoping that doesn't happen tomorrow. But the places to look out for: Kebe, Gada local government area, Ilela, Wamako. These are all the places where elections are going to be holding. 22 out of the entire 23 local government areas in Sokoto State.
Now let's go back to Abuja studios, where Maupe is standing by with more stories. Hello, Maupe.
Hello, Melinda, and welcome again to Abuja. Well, ahead of the supplementary elections, which my colleagues have been updating you about tomorrow, President Muhammadu Buhari has called on Nigerians to come out en masse and participate in the exercise. In a statement by the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity, Garba Shehu, President Buhari thanked voters for re-electing him for a second term in office and said he would never forget their sacrifices in defying harsh weather conditions to vote for him. He adds, quote, "I was deeply overwhelmed by a show of incredible confidence in me, and I will never let you down. Thank you for your sincere show of some support for me," end of quote. He called on the Independent National Electoral Commission, that's INEC, and security agencies to ensure that the supplementary elections are conducted peacefully and in accordance with the law and constitution. The president has also inaugurated the Presidential Implementation Committee on Autonomy of the State Legislature and State Judiciary in accordance with the fourth alteration of the 1999 Constitution. Now, during the ceremony at the Council Chamber at the Aso Villa, President Buhari charged members to be diligent in discharging their duties. The president believes autonomy of the state legislature and judiciary is a necessity for Nigeria's democracy to endure. The 16-member committee is headed by the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, while the President's National Assembly liaison, Ita Inang, is to serve as secretary.
It is now my pleasure to formally inaugurate the Presidential Implementation Committee on Autonomy of State Legislature and State Judiciary.
President Buhari giving official backing to the Presidential Implementation Committee on Autonomy of State Legislature and Judiciary. Its members are drawn from a wide spectrum of agencies and interest groups. While addressing the members, President Buhari said the committee is to ensure the autonomy granted the legislature and judiciary at the state level is maintained.
We are committed to strengthening our democracy by ensuring separation of powers among the three tiers or arms of government, even at the state levels.
In implementing its 5 terms of reference, the president has expectation.
In executing this important national assignment, the committee, as constituted, is expected to cooperate with all relevant stakeholders to ensure compliance with the constitutional provisions granting autonomy to state legislature and judiciary without deviating from the approved terms of reference.
The Attorney General and Minister of Justice is to head the committee, while the President's liaison to the National Assembly, Itainang, is secretary.
This giant act of Mr. President, being the first in the historical evolution of Nigerian democracy, has indeed yielded to the aspiration of greater number of Nigerians, and as a result constitutes one of the major reasons for Mr. President's massive victory in the recently concluded presidential election.
The 16-member committee is expected to complete its assignment in 3 months from the day of inauguration. Meanwhile, President Buhari has assented to the Engineers Amendment Act 2019, an act that establishes the Council for the Regulation of Engineering in Nigeria, COREN. With this amendment, COREN now gets far-reaching powers.
This act grants COREN, the Council for the Registration of Engineers in Nigeria, power to prosecute any person who is involved in any infraction in engineering practice, including engineering failures of any description.
Mr. Enang clarifies that the Act emphasizes more on engineering practitioners as against, quote, engineers. The Act has been remitted in accordance with standard legal procedures. From the Presidential Villa, Ibrahim Adra, Channels Television News.
When the news at 10 returns, Securities and Exchange Commission's Capital Market Committee to simplify process of shares transmission related to a estate of deceased investors. Well, that's some business news. Do join us again.